Ben Johnson, Lance Armstrong, Team Russia? What am I talking about? I'm talking about ergogenic aids. Most athletes are on the lookout nowadays for that new or pre-existing substance that gives you that physical edge. Ergogenic aids do include PEDs or performance enhancing drugs. They also include techniques that can enhance an athlete's physiology to a level greater than what they can achieve naturally, like blood doping. But the majority of these substances and techniques are banned for use in sports. W.A.D.A, or the World Anti-Doping Agency, have an exhaustive list on their website called the Prohibited List. Here, you will find just about every substance and technique that is banned by almost all sporting organizations across the world. But hey, not all ergogenic aids have to be bad. Caffeine, creatine, and altitude training. These are some examples of legal ergogenic aids that are used regularly by many athletes. However, evidence from scientific studies looking at their effectiveness are sometimes lacking or contradicting. Despite this, there's one substance gaining some traction as a viable ergogenic aid and improving strength endurance of all measures. You guessed it, beetroot juice! Nitric oxide was discovered back in the 1980s to play a very important role in cardiac physiology, more specifically vasodilation, or the relaxation of blood vessels. For this reason, many pre-workout supplements on the shelves today have nitric oxide precursors found within them. Now, dietary nitrate, or nitrate consumed from food, has been shown to be a promising promoter of nitric oxide. And luckily for us, beetroots are full of them. When we consume nitrate, it is converted to nitrite by bacteria in our mouth. It is then this nitrite that is converted to nitric oxide in acidic and hypoxic conditions, often found during high intensity exercise. Nitrate, as an ergogenic aid, is no stranger to the science backing endurance athletes like long distance runners. Some evidence shows nitrate's effects to include improved exercise economy, enhanced contractile function of muscle, increased glucose uptake, and attenuation of muscle fatigue. However, studies looking at the effects of nitrates in weightlifters is lacking, to say the least. Back in 2016, Mosher and his colleagues published a study that showed beetroot juice enhanced bench press strength endurance. Ever since, the scientific community has been waiting for a second study to confirm these findings. Finally, in April of this year, Williams and Co. published a study showing enhanced bench press strength endurance after beetroot supplementation, along with increased barbell velocity and power output. So, using a crossover study design, Williams had 11 men complete 2 bench press testing sessions. These were separated by 72 hours. Before one session, participants consumed 70 ml of beetroot juice containing 400 milligrams of nitrate, and before the other session, participants consumed a placebo or beetroot flavored drink. The participants were blinded to what they were ingesting before each session. In other words, they didn't know if they were going to have the beetroot juice with the nitrates in it or the beetroot flavored drink. They were also randomized to which session they would do first. Along with this, they performed a third familiarization session before the 2 testing sessions. A familiarization session is used to mitigate the training effect that participants might undergo between the 2 testing sessions. During this familiarization session, they also use the time to determine the participants' 1RM on the bench press, or in other words, how much weight they could lift for 1 repetition. The strength test itself consisted of 3 sets taken to failure at 70% of the participants' 1RM. Between each set, there was also 3 minutes of rest. Along with this, barbell velocity and power output were also recorded per repetition. Williams found that 400 milligrams of nitrate significantly improved barbell velocity and barbell power output. The beetroot juice conditions on average increase barbell velocity by 6% and increase power output by 19%. They also found that participants performed on average 9% more reps during their 3 sets when taken to failure during the beetroot juice conditions versus the placebo. Now, before you go to your Tesco and clear them out of all the beetroot products that they have, there are a few caveats that you should be aware of. Some of the participants in the Williams study showed no change in bench press performance between the beetroot juice conditions and the placebo conditions. One participant even performed worse in the beetroot condition versus the placebo condition, performing far less reps. Another point that we should take is that chronic or daily usage of beetroot juice in endurance athletes has been shown to further increase performance than just a once-off dose. Although the answer to that question was outside the scope of this study, maybe daily use would further enhance lifting performance. Finally, this study was only performed in males, and from previous research we know that females may not benefit the same from beetroot juice supplementation as their male counterparts. All that being said, this study lends itself to the pre-existing literature that beetroot juice can be used as an effective ergogenic aid in lifting. So, for you, beetroot juice supplementation may increase strength endurance and power output and high velocity contraction movements or explosive movements, and chronic or daily ingestion of beetroot juice may yield even greater results again. Next time your mates notice that you're benching way more than last week, you can let them know. Dude, your bench press, it's gone up so much. What do you want? Tell me. I'm on that juice, the beetroot juice. If you like this video, make sure you drop it a like. Think about subscribing, or don't. I'm going to be making these videos anyway. It would help though, it'd be nice. All the same, peace out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, ciao for now.